What is up, everybody? Welcome to Philly with John Marks. It's always brought to you by BetParx. Live on a Tuesday morning, July 1st. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. As Tyler Zulli pointed out to us, Bobby Bonilla gets a check for $1 million directly deposited into his account. Maybe he still gets the paper check sent to him just so he can see it. Now, that's minus taxes, I'm sure. But still, every July 1st until the year 2035, Bobby Bonilla gets a deferred payment from the Mets. From the Mets, right? Yeah. Must be nice to be Bobby Bonilla. We have a lot going on. Joining us on the program today, courtesy of BlackGritty.com, is Black Gritty, live from his home studio. Black Gritty, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Hello.
I wish. Sometimes I dream that he is me, like Bobby. If I could be like Bobby, oh, life would be so sweet. If I just woke up once a year to $1 million payday, it would be nice.
And it's also he made plenty of money in his career, so maybe he waits for that check every year because he has no more money. But you know what I mean? Like the people that win the lottery that go broke because they spend all their money and then they're like borrowing against when they get that payment every year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Bobby Bonilla, but I guess you never know, right?
I'm pretty sure it's not Bobby Bonilla. I mean, at some point, here's the thing. If you messed up for 5 years straight, you could fix that knowing that there's money still coming for another decade. Right. So even if you messed up, you're like, all right, well, I messed up doing it this way. Let me fix it and do it that way. If you had to downsize or do whatever you need to do, just knowing that guaranteed $1 million comes no matter what you do, that's amazing.
$1.19 million from the New York Mets.
I'll take the 1.9 a year. I'll take the 1.9 a year and I'm good. You know what I mean? Just give me $300K. Give me $200K a year, guaranteed, doing nothing, and I'm golden.
I'm set.
Johnny Marks.
I'm set, man. I'm set. So Black Gritty, where were you? I remember where I was when the Phillies signed Bryce Harper. I was on the air, and you remember it. It was like, oh, I remember. Where were you when the 76ers signed Trendon Watford to a 2-year contract?
Waffles? I remember it distinctly. I was watching Animal Kingdom season 6, episode 11, just figuring out how the season was going to end because it was a series finale. It was coming up in 2 more episodes. My life was changing in dramatic ways watching Netflix. It was, and
you had to go watch the emergency podcast that the PHLY Sixers guys did. I mean, I think they literally did an emergency podcast on it. Yeah, I missed that. So
you got to watch the highlights too. Oh, by the way, I had technical difficulties this morning, Johnny Marks. I apologize, but it's K Red's fault in the chat. Just so you know,
it's his fault.
Yeah, last week he was like, "Oh, I missed some BG." Had his lights in the background behind him, and you could see the blurry lights and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I bought it as new equipment. I just hadn't hooked it up yet. So I started like hooking it up this morning, not this morning, over the weekend. And that's why I had technical difficulties.
Your studio wasn't set up because you were futzing around with everything.
Yep.
And all right.
American way. That's what happened. So we actually just got my stuff working right like a minute before.
Seconds before airtime, we figured out.
It's K Red's fault. It's K Red's fault for kicking me in the butt. Like, I do have stuff I need to be doing. So
you remember back in the 80s, you would get the thing that you would have the voiceover guy come underneath and say, "We're experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by." Beep! And it would have the screen with just colors on it.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Man, they don't do that anymore, do they? In anything?
No, because I don't think they have if they have technical difficulties, they have something other than some screen with colors on it and a beep.
If we have technical difficulties, now it says buffering reload.
Now it just doesn't load.
Yeah, it doesn't load. Wow, that's great. That's another thing kids will just never know of. They're gonna grow up thinking like they gotta smack their iPad because it's buffering, and we grow up with technical difficulties.
Please
that's
stand
crazy.
by. I remember. There it is.
There it is.
Yeah, you would get that.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all they could do. Thank you, Tyler. That's all you can do. Do you also know? And then we'll actually talk about sports here. That Channel 6, and you could probably find this too, Tyler. Channel 6 at like, I don't know what time, in the 3:30 in the morning, they would actually sign off and they would play this very weird random song with like highlights of Philadelphia. And then they would literally sign off the air. I don't know why. I don't know if they were the only channel,
I feel like I remember that. I feel like that sounds so familiar.
And if I would be up late for whatever reason, I would just watch it. And I don't. It's so weird to think back then with everything that happened.
Yeah.
But all right. Anyway, so we'll talk about the 76ers a little bit later. Philadelphia's going to have a WNBA team. Are we excited about that? But oh, look at that! You're already ready. Zack Wheeler, Blackbeard. I want everybody to please realize what we're witnessing and what we've witnessed from Zack Wheeler since he signed with the Phillies isn't normal. And it's not something we may say again in our lifetime as far as the Phillies going out, signing a player. And I want to say under the radar signing because it was a big contract. But he was coming from the Mets where he missed years because of injury. He missed seasons because of injury. And he's come to Philadelphia. And it may be the best free agent signing they've ever had as a team. And he makes it look easy. Did it again last night. Just a couple guys get on base. He strands them. Guys get to second base with less than 2 outs. Hey, I'll get a strikeout, get out of the inning. Shut the Padres out. He went eight innings. Kind of an easy, fun. I was down at the game last night. But just, he's not going to be able to do this forever. He's not going to do this forever. He's already said he's going to retire after the end of his next contract. But Zack Wheeler's unbelievable, man. We are witnessing something really, really special with this guy.
So watching the game last night was one of the most excruciating things I've watched in a long time. Once he got past like the 6th inning, I was just like, that's a professional ball player. Like and I know baseball's hard and I know baseball's up and down, but like when he's out there wheeling and dealing and you just look at his face, the confidence, the command, like he let up a hit and said, that's on me. What are you talking about, bro? It's the 6th inning and you're mowing people down and you have the audacity to lay claim and blame for letting up a hit like Mike. Dude, that dude is a machine right now. And again, like you said, injuries in the past, but right now, like I always say, Bryce, thank you for choosing me. Wheeler, if you're out there buying jerseys, we were talking about buying jerseys a couple weeks ago. You got to buy a Wheeler jersey. Like this guy is just elite. And when you look at the rest of the team and they're slumping and they're falling apart, I'm like, you've got to support this man. Last night they got hit, so we got runs when we did support him. But like, he is a gem and he deserves a ring. Like I last night I was just like, wow, this guy is good. Like his confidence just was taking over me watching the game. And I know that San Diego's not like world beaters or anything like that, but they got a lot of money on their on the side of the ball.
Yeah, they're actually, because so I was at the games with my buddies they do morning radio in San Diego, and they were saying to me like, your lineup's unbelievable. I'm like, no, it's not. Our lineup sucks. Yeah. And he's like, but like from our perspective, our lineup sucks. But I'm like, yeah, you have Machado, you have Tatis, like they have some pieces on there, but they're cold like the Phillies this year. But like Zack Wheeler, it doesn't matter. He's unbelievable. He's automatic. So. I think he's going to start the All-Star game. It's in Atlanta this year. That's his hometown. Skiing started last year. To me, based on what Wheeler's doing, doesn't it make sense to give the guy that's probably, I mean, who knows? This could be one of his last All-Star games or his last All-Star game, depending. And he's earned it, right? So he may be the starter in the All-Star game. He has been that good. Tyler Zulli of PHLY Phillies, he joins us this morning as he always does. All-star starter, Zack Wheeler. I think it's going to end up happening, but man, he's dealing as usual.
It's him or Skeens. I think that's the conversation because there's no question who's starting for the American League. Tarek Skubal is pitching on a different planet right now, but it's him or Skeens right now. And guys, so for Zack Wheeler, his next start over the last 2 seasons in the regular season will be his 50th start over the last 2 years. In that span, he is 24-10. He has thrown 307 innings, and he has struck out 360 hitters in those 307 innings. He had a .96 whip last year and has a .91 whip this year. He just finished a month of June with a .58 ERA. Those are video game numbers. This guy has continued to get better. And machine, BG, is the right word to use. He's methodical. He has no emotion. He just goes out there and pitches. His fastball has gotten better as he's gotten older, and his complement of other pitches are equally as good. Obviously, he trusts the fastball the most. It's his bread and butter pitch. It's his strikeout pitch. But when he's able to throw that curveball off the back foot to lefties, and he's able to spot the splitter that he uses every once in a while, the elevated fastball, guys have no chance against. This dude is on another planet right now with the way that he is pitching. And guys, the last stat that I want to give you, the Phillies currently boast 12.5% of the starters across baseball that have 100 or more strikeouts this season.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It really is.
Unbelievable how good the starting rotation has been over the month of June. Really all season, but over the month of June specifically. And
what Ranger Suarez is doing in 10 straight starts here, and what Zack Wheeler, you had just said his ERA is under 1 for the month, was under 1 for the month. I mean, Jesus. And then you have Sanchez. He had 10 at least 10 strikeouts in his last outing he was out there. And Luzardo can kind of be a middle of the rotation guy, because it's like, well, look at your other starters. But Blackity, I'm telling you, the thing that makes me feel better than anything else is you still have Aaron Nola going forward for the next how many seasons? Aaron Nola. So you're going to have him around, Black Gritty. You may lose Ranger Suarez, but all you Aaron Nola fans, you're going to be able to keep him. There you go.
How insane is it, too? Because I've been a Nola defender, because in general, the thing that he brings you is consistency. He's out there. He eats up innings. Every third start, he's going to give up 2 home runs, and you're going to get mad about it. But now it's like, we just re-signed him and gave him so much money. And
I'm sorry. I'm bringing down the vibe. I shouldn't have done it.
I know.
I can't help myself sometimes.
I know. It's your jam. I
can't help myself.
My gosh. Oh, my heart.
This portion of the program brought to you by GLAT HAIR Restoration, glathairmm.com, 610-980-4000. Think about this team, right? Free agency, really, I mean, I remember as a kid, trades were bigger than free agency. When the Phillies signed Craig Jeffries, and I think it was a 4-year, $20 million contract, or a 5-year, $20 million contract. That was a big free agent signing. We know the dollars are much bigger now, but teams acquired players in trades, and the free agency wasn't like it is today. But you look at this team right now, Kyle Schwarber. Do you know that's a 4-year, $79 million contract that they signed him to? That's one of the best free agent signings in franchise history.
Yeah, basically got him for free.
Holy cow, man. Look at that production. And then we talked about Zack Wheeler and Bryce Harper. They haven't won a World Series. They've went to a World Series. Bryce came back last night. We'll talk about that in a second. But some pretty good signings on this team in free agency right now.
And by the way, because you brought up Dr. Glatt, I mean, he's got a wonderful family. And I say this with all due respect. But if Zack Wheeler went to Dr. Glatt and got a hairline like you, he'd be one of the sexiest men in baseball, and the ladies would be melting like the concrete out here the last week in Philadelphia. If he just had a little bit of shine on that bald head, boy, he might need to see no doctor. He gets so much endorsement money, boy. He be Wheeler.
Have you seen his wife? And he's
like I said, no disrespect to the family. He's locked down. He is golden pony. I'm just saying, I'm trying to give my man some more endorsements, get him out there in these commercials. Because when he takes his hat off, and he's a funny guy, like when you hear him actually talk and interact,
he is.
He's actually a really funny guy. But he looks like a grandpa sometimes when I look at him. I'm like, man, if you just went and saw Dr. Glatt, boy, I could get you some more money. I could get you the Gatorade commercial, Wheeler. You are cutting stuff down right now. So we have to set that up too. Yeah, I mean, get my man a little hairline going. You can't be the only one out here reviving yourself looking sexy as you age, Johnny Marks. Can't just be you.
Not my style to brag, but I Emily at Razor Bar yesterday. I got the freshie for the game.
That's what made me think. But I'm like, man, my boy looking clean right now. I got to hook Wheeler up.
Not bad for 48 years old when I shaved the beard down, and
there you go.
You can't see all the white in the beard. Wheeler's really interesting. He kind of reminds me a little bit. Roy Halladay was, and rest in peace, Roy. But we knew he's like nasty on the mound, and you knew he was nasty on the mound. He would growl at the umpire. Yeah, he also had a personality that you saw in certain spots, right? Like Zack Wheeler definitely has a personality. Yeah. And I love was it his last start, Tyler, or the one before where he was walking off the mound? He got pinched in a couple spots and he was pissed. And he was walking off the mound, growling and staring down at the ump. It was great.
Yeah, he barked at all three umpires because I think he got there was a check swing that didn't get called that ended up, I think it ended up costing him a little bit, not a ton, but like it was the start that he went 5 innings, and I think it was against Houston
2 starts ago. I think.
Yeah, I think it was against.
Regardless. Yeah, we saw it. He's really interesting, and it is man, he has been absolutely fantastic. Castellanos goes deep last night. I just want to point this out to all the Rob Thompson is soft crowd. Since they benched Castellanos, he's hitting .302 in 11 games, 3 home runs, 5 doubles, 9 RBIs since Thompson sat him down. Did it motivate him? I tell you what it didn't do. It didn't sink the team, and it didn't sink Castellanos, which is what I saw a lot of people saying. Oh, well, there you go, the team. He has issues with the players, and the players are going to give up on him, whatever. I'm not telling you that Rob Thompson isn't managing for his job this year, because I think he is, and he should be. But like the moves that he's made, it's worked off. It's paid off with Castellanos, whether it's really done anything or not. Though he had a home run last night. He whacked the ball. Listen, the offense still sucks. They were getting runs last night they had a knuckleballer going for the Padres. And my guys were telling me that their catcher had never caught him or never caught a knuckleballer before. And it looked like it. It looked like it last night.
Which is kind of funny because Martin Maldonado's calling card throughout his career has been his defense. He's been a really, really good defensive catcher over his career. This year, he's starting to falter a little bit. He's getting a little bit older. But you're right. It looked there were probably 3 or 4 pass balls with Waldron, but then there was or I would say there were probably wild pitches. He looked like he wasn't gripping the ball very well last night. But then there was 1 or 2 with Wandy Peralta as well. I mean, and I know that Elias Diaz came in to catch late through the game, but Maldonado did not look comfortable behind the plate last night at all.
He did not. Brandon Marsh they had infield hits. They had steals. You see the Brandon Marsh swing move to not get tagged out at second base?
Because he was out by a lot on the throw.
Yeah, that was nice. So Tyler, let me ask you a question because you're a nerd. Is the league down in apologize. Is the league down in hitting this year? Because sometimes I try to I don't watch a lot of baseball outside of my team. I'll just be honest about that. But I check in on things. I'm like, okay, so the other day we had 15 runs, another team had 22, another team had 12, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And then I'm looking around, I'm like 5, 3, 2, 1. Am I being too hard on my team for the average of the league, or is it we should be hitting more, scoring more runs?
There's it depends on who you ask, right? Andrew McCutchen has come out and blatantly, matter of fact, said the balls are kind of dead, right? They keep doing this thing in baseball where it's like juice the ball, de-juice the ball, juice the ball, de-juice the ball, and I guess they're trying to find a sweet spot. I don't know if there is one, to be honest with you, but I think there were 12 shutouts this past weekend. Across baseball, which for a game that predicates itself on offense, as of late at least, So to answer your question, I think in like a plain answer, yes, there's definitely a little bit of a dip offensively. Like we're talking about catchers, right? The catcher position across the game, with the exception of Cal Raleigh and a couple of other guys, it's not a lot of catchers that are hitting right now.
Yeah. Okay. So that again. That I had to ask a nerd because I needed stats to back me up. But I had my general dumb eyes. I'm like, man, nobody's hitting right now. Nobody's scoring. So it's not just us. But I know we care more because it is us. But man, people are complaining like crazy. And I'm just looking at the rest of the league, like you said, they're juice the ball. Something's up. So hitting is down right now.
And McCutchen said somebody from baseball told him that the seam, this is nerd stuff. The seams are different on the balls this year because not by design, it's just where they're getting the balls from. The balls are a little bit different, and it's causing them not to have the same type of carry in it. And they're not really sure why this is happening. Trust me, they are not. Baseball is not intentionally trying to limit home runs and runs and offense.
They want it higher.
And if they really have ordered balls from Malaysia or wherever they're getting them that aren't juice, they're reverse juice, then Rob Manfred really is an idiot. Yeah. Because I'm fine with less runs and all that. I love that kind of baseball. But it'd be nice to see some 3, 4, 5 home run games out of these guys every once in a while.
Yeah, it's just like I said, I really started looking into it. So I'm like, man, we are not hitting. And as I look around the league, I check every day, just looking up and down the box scores. I'm like, man, It's not just us.
Yeah.
It's not just us.
All right, coming up, Black Gritty, we're going to update everybody on the 76ers and free agency because I've seen a lot of the Sixers are quiet in free agency. Were we expecting an explosion by the Sixers? We'll update you on everything. Also, the WNBA Philadelphia. What's the name?
I was going to say Phillies, like the Phillies, but we already have that. Maybe if I just PHLY.
Can you do Phillies with an F?
Yeah, like Phillies.
Do you think the Phillies with a PH would mind?
Yeah, that's a nice Philly there. Yeah, look at her.
Not the same thing.
Yeah, see, she's a good-looking Philly.
She
got the steak lobster dinner. Yeah, Father appreciate it.
We got all that coming up right after this. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. Don't go anywhere. All right, back in 2 and 2. But let's and I give an assist to Black Gritty. And there were some guys in the chat or whatever that were saying, can't lie, Marks' hair looks good. Check out my Instagram. I took a selfie so I could shout out Emily at Razor Bar and Wayne. Because, going down to the Phillies game, I have a vacation coming up next week. It had been a while since I had my hair cut. I was wearing my hat because the hair had become too long. All right? You could see what it looks like when I got the freshie. GLAT hair restoration. I had hair restoration, but it's not just about hair restoration. So if you're losing your hair, experts in the industry, GLAT hair, I would never go anywhere but GLAT hair. Over 30 years of industry experience, but maybe you're not to the restoration levels yet, right? Other maintenance things that you can do. Say, hey, I'm okay with where my hair is. I just don't want to lose anymore. Ha-ha. GLATHairMM.com. 610-980-4000. I said, you know what? I've lost a good amount of hair. I want to do restoration. Bam. You can see the results. But then also maintenance. I don't want to lose any more of my hair. So every year I go to GLAT Hair Restoration. I get some maintenance things done, like the TED procedure, which is meant to help you keep your hair. So if you're thinning, you're shedding, you're balding, and you don't want to lose any more, GLAT Hair's got something for you. 610-980-4000. 610-980-4000. Text or call them, or go to GLATHairMM.com. All right, so about you know what? We didn't even do a parlay of the day yesterday. Holy cow! How did we forget to do that? Yeah, but we got to do one today. We're never successful whenever we do the three-way one. But anyway, that's why you go to the BetParx app, an online casino app. Because there's a little bit of something, everything, right? So last night I would have bet my paycheck that Bryce Harper would have swung out of his cleats in that first at bat coming back. Meanwhile, he worked a walk, which was unbelievable. So there's so much to do. You have Philadelphia baseball. Here's another thing to look at, which is pretty cool. You have a lot of futures in pro football. Right now, you have futures in what's going on in pro basketball. So that's there right there. How about the Excite Center at Parx Casino? My casino of choice, right there in the Philly suburbs, so close to everywhere. UB40. I can't wait to go to this show. I'm a huge UB40 fan. That's coming up in September. Gary Clark Jr., Classic Rockers, Kansas. That's in October. Get tickets now, though, in the Excite Center at Parx Casino. It is an amazing venue. ParxCasino.com for tickets. ParxCasino.com. You must be 21. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Hoo-wah. There you go. Philly with John Marks. Back. Black Gritty in the house.
Red wine.
So that's the go-to that everybody says. Or what's the other one?
Let me be. What's the other one?
It's from a movie with Sharon Stone.
It's a remake. It's a
It is.
Oh my God, I know the song. It's an Elvis song too.
It's an Elvis song. It is. And I can't help falling in love with you. What was the name of that movie?
Over under the amount of times that song's been covered.
Oh, a lot, for sure.
15 and a half.
Because you can put a different spin. You can do a country spin on it. Yeah. You can do a reggae spin.
I'll put it to this point. There is a metal band whose shtick is they do songs about horror movies. And they did a cover of that song and made it real eerie, scary movie. You know how when trailers of scary movies have children's choirs do songs and it's real creepy. Right. They did it like that. They made it real downbeat, real creepy. So there's a million different ways you can go with that song.
So I know today I'm already ruining the show. I apologize. But, I do random stuff on the side, and my buddy has a cabin in the woods in the Poconos, and I want to shoot a little short story, scary movie thing. Do you guys want to hear it? I'll tell it to you guys.
Yeah.
Only people watch the show. So
yeah,
when it comes out one day. So I have a friend. She's got a convertible, really pretty girl. She rolls up to the cabin, and there's a black guy, which is me, scary, dirty, dingy on the deck. She walks right by him. She goes in the house. He's standing in the living room. She's putting food in the fridge. He's right behind her in the fridge. She goes to take a shower. He's in the shower. She doesn't acknowledge him at all. She calls her friend on FaceTime, and her friend's like, "Who's that guy standing behind you?" And she's like, "What guy?" She's like, "There's a large black man standing directly behind you." And she's like, "All right, whatever. I'm up here by myself. Stop freaking me out. There's nobody here. I'm here by myself. Whatever." And she's like, "I'm telling you, there's someone in the house right behind you." And she's like, "All right, I got to go because you're freaking me out." She goes to eat her food, standing right behind her. She goes to get in bed. I'm already in the room. She cuts off the lights, and then I'm right on top of her, choking her out. And she's like, "I don't see color."
Wow. I was getting creeped out just thinking about. You know what I was thinking about?
It's got to have a funny payoff because for me, so she's like, "I don't see color," so she didn't see.
But like you know what's going to make or break the short film? Your acting.
Yes.
How much you can sell it.
Yes, I've got to be super creepy. I've got to be like, I got to be.
It'll be scary.
I gotta get the eyes going. I might grow out my bald. I had the tuft so I get the George Jefferson going, so I look unhinged. See, why y'all laughing too hard now? You didn't laugh at my punchline, Tyler, but you laughing at me, George Jefferson. Oh, Tyler, Tyler.
The George Jefferson. Come on, that's so specific.
Well, you can't go Phil Martelli because he's black, but like the black Phil Martelli.
Man, look, I'd have threatened Tyler's life a lot, but Tyler, don't get in the same room with me next time I see you, boy. You lucky you got a family now. I can't kill you, but I could break a leg or something. You know what I mean? You have to explain to your son why I had to fluff you up, man. You just stone cold, brother. You an evil man. Let's get back to sports. Don't we got stuff to talk about?
Why did Uncle BG beat you up when I was a baby?
That's right. Oh, Lord help me.
Yes. Yeah, but back to UB40. No, like you're talking about the hits, man. I'm not I know all the B-side stuff.
Yeah.
To UB40. Come on, man.
Yeah, I used to know the B-side stuff. That I had the tape. I bought their tape back when you used to have to buy the tape. They had all the songs on it. So.
Oh man.
Yeah. You couldn't fast forward through. You just had to play them.
Did you ever go to? Because you were from Jersey, but you were up like across from Bucks. Did you ever go to Rice's Flea Market? It was I get it's just when I would cut school and you would go to Rice's Flea Market because they had all the cassette tapes and they're like $1. But side A actually played side B and side B was side A. So you would have to put it in and be like, oh, that's right. I got to flip it because it's the wrong side. Yeah. Bootleg cassettes.
I was getting my bootleg cassettes from Cowtown. That was my area. That's where I went to Cowtown.
That's
gotcha.
Where I was
getting mine from.
Gotcha. All right, well, let's talk about your team, your town, your 76ers as pretty much their team is their team. It's going to be whether Joel Embiid can stay healthy and everything else, but they are going to make some signings. So it was Trendon Watford, and I'm going to let the PHLY 76ers guys deal with him. But if anytime you're paying a player $5.3 million over 2 years, it's obviously not a huge signing. With that being said, also, you can make an under the radar signing that can be a big part of your team if if he ends up being a good player. So, I don't know. It's right now it's kind of coming down to can they bring back Yabusele and how much money is Quentin Grimes going to scam the 76ers out of? Because
you're not a Grimes guy.
So, I thought he was good. I did think he was good last year. I remember when the Sixers signed Kenny Thomas to the contract after he averaged a double-double. And I remember my reaction was, man, someone on that was a terrible team. Someone on that team had to score and rebound, and he was the guy. Not that Kenny Thomas was a horrible player, but they paid him like he was their star player. And relative to what players are making now, it was nothing.
Yeah.
Is Grimes really a $20 million a year player? Or was he somebody that is a very willing shooter and aggressive, and they didn't have anybody else that was that? I wonder what he looks like with Maxey on the floor, with McCain on the floor, with Edgecombe on the floor. Like, or is he just, hey, there's nobody else that can score, so go out and score? Because he's gifted. I mean, I think he's talented, but he's bounced around a little bit, and the Mavs were pretty eager to get rid of him. So I'm skeptical. I ain't giving him $25 million a year.
And to be fair, the Mavs get rid of a lot of people. They got rid of Brunson, right? Wasn't Brunson on the Mavs?
They wanted to re-sign him, but
yeah,
the Knicks had his dad in his back in their back pocket to sign him. So, they were mad when he left, actually.
Yeah, because they've lost other people too. I'm just again now
they just traded Luka. So
yeah, we don't have many legs to stand on as far as like what somebody does across the league. But I feel like with our team, especially late, like Maxey's become the guy because when Joel's not playing, you got to have a guy. If Grimes could have got confidence from actually knowing what it's like to have crunch time on his shoulders to try and win a game or make shots, I feel like he's somebody you could at least go to when things are slow because he could get a bucket as opposed to somebody who's timid and doesn't help out. So, I mean, you're right. I don't want to give him $25-30 million. If I can get him for 15 to 20, I mean, shoot, they're throwing money away out the window for all kinds of people. So I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, if you can't sign somebody else, at least you could trade him, right? Because you do seem to have an abundance of guards. But, I mean, Daryl Morey may be looking at this and saying, okay, well, that's not a bad thing because we need a wing. And for all we know, McCain the Sixers may be eyeing, hey, can we make a legitimate trade? And I'm not talking about trading him for nothing. I'm talking about trading him for another young, impressive player that maybe another team has an extra 3, an extra wing laying around. I don't know.
If they trade McCain, I'll burn the city down. I don't hear it. When everybody was talking trash about that pick and who he was, he would have been rookie of the year by far.
He would have been.
He is a player. I know he's weird and people don't like the stuff that he does or whatever, but that kid can ball. Like I want him on the team. Whatever this new team looks like, I need stuff to make me happy.
Well, so do you have too many guards then?
76 in the guards. Well, go get rid of Joel Embiid and go play like the Pacers.
Well, remember Jay Wright's Villanova team. He had 4 guards and then like Dante Cunningham. Let's do that. Let's have 4 guards and put not even in put whoever put Andre Drummond out there with him.
Exactly. I mean, I'd sign up for that. I would. I don't know how we. You know what I mean, the center position is dead. All these 7'4" guys are out here shooting threes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
So it's like, what's the point? Go give me all the guards in the world. Put a guard at center. Trade for LeBron.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It seems like Yabusele is going to be gone. I saw San Antonio signed the Luke Cornett dude from Boston, and there was thought maybe that they had some interest in Yabusele because he was kind of a versatile big that can play around. So we'll see. I mean, it would be great to bring him back too, and you're trying to make your rotation better. And listen, they have what feels like is getting a little bit of a deeper team. Man, if Joel Embiid can play 60 games, they have a chance. That's the only way they're going to have a chance.
Do you know what I call Yabusele?
Yabba dabba doo?
Beignet Wallace. When it's froze out. Beignet Wallace. I was like, man, that guy looks like a Piston. I mean, like, what's up with that fro?
He certainly does. That's a good call. WNBA announced yesterday, and I think if you were like, it had been talked about that the Sixers were in, and there were a lot of markets that actually were trying to get a WNBA franchise at this point. But the Sixers were in, and they have a new arena that's coming, and it makes perfect sense that they would want the WNBA in Philadelphia. So perhaps 2030, they're rolling one team out every year. They're not doing hey, we're going to put 6 teams out at once, which would be a bad idea. Yeah. It actually makes some sense what they're doing. They're rolling out a team. So the WNBA Philadelphia team will be likely in 2030. We'll have fun over the next couple of years picking out a name for them. But like I am typically Black Gritty. Like I will when the USFL came back, I was like, oh, this is awesome, man. I'll watch it. I'll watch spring football. Like this is cool. I didn't watch 1 minute of the USFL. The what's the new one? What did they call the merged league? UFL or something like that?
Yeah.
I'll support it and I'll say, listen, like these spring leagues haven't worked, but like, yeah, I'll watch some of it. I haven't watched a minute of any of these leagues. So I don't know if I'm going to watch a minute of the WNBA Philadelphia team, but I think it's awesome that that Philadelphia's getting a team. There's absolutely a spot in the city for a WNBA team, especially with the popularity that's now coming on, not only with Caitlin Clark, but with Reese as well. I mean, she is really, Angel Reese is really, people want to just give it to Caitlin Clark and say like, oh, well, she's here because of Caitlin Clark. Okay, but she's playing the role that you need to be a foil of Caitlin Clark. Oh, and by the way, like, she's putting up historic rebounding numbers. I'm not telling you that I watched many of these games or any of these games, but I'm paying attention. I see the clips. I'm reading about it. So I'm excited, man. I really am. I can't promise that I'm going to be watching a lot of games in 5 years, Black Gritty, but it's exciting that this is happening.
Well, you, like most of the people in the city, I'd have to bribe you to watch hockey too. And we had a nice draft last week. PHLY put on a nice draft party. A lot of people showed up, and we have prospects for the future. We have hope with the Flyers, and so with the WNBA, I support my daughter. We haven't gotten to go to a game, but when she was playing basketball in middle school, like we watch games on TV because that's what you do. And the biggest thing for me is this area and the men, how they went on the internet yesterday and were making fun of the WNBA, making fun of women, making fun of other people who were excited about this. Sometimes I just forget how small Philadelphia is. Like, I love the fans. I love the city. I love the people. But there's so many small, vocal people with Twitter fingers that want to talk trash. And I just think to myself, like, don't you have a mother? Don't you have a wife? Maybe you had a daughter, a niece, like somebody who would like to see themselves playing a game, playing a sport locally, that you could take them out to a game and watch their eyes light up because this person might become their idol. Like, I was so annoyed with a lot of people yesterday because, one, you got to wait 5 years to get this. You're already crying and complaining like a little punk about something that's not even here yet. But again, maybe it's not for you. If it's not for you, shut up, because I'm excited. The only thing I don't like about WNBA is the girl swag is better than the guys. This hoodie, my daughter has the exact same hoodie. I ordered this hoodies. Hers looks 10 times better. The stitching is different and it's overlaid. Like, I was like, dang, that's a nice hoodie. They don't make those in gritty size, and I was mad about it.
Well, so Michael Rubin and Fanatics isn't messing up WNBA stuff yet, I guess?
No. That they got right. I mean, at least for the lady side. The guy side is just a regular standard guy's hoodie. The girl stuff has got like cross stitching in it, like fancy stuff. I was like, man, I upgrade my stuff to that. But we're getting a new stadium. You're going to fill it with something new, and there's going to be something else to do. And if you don't want to check it out, that's fine. Like I said, Johnny Marks, I'll be honest. You talk about Caitlin Clark and Reese. Reese, I like watching the me bounds, and I put a couple bets on her missing her first shot. When I saw that was going viral, made a couple shekels. And you need a villain. People are like, oh, she's not even that good. But guess what? She's out there doing the public face work. Caitlin Clark's doing on the court work. Caitlin Clark isn't doing a podcast. She doesn't have that personality like that. Reese is out here doing interviews, talk shows, all kinds of stuff, uplifting the WNBA. It's a rising tide lifts all ships. So people hate on either side for a lot of different reasons. But you're right. She is helping.
Angel Reese is really irritating. And Caitlin Clark is like, you have to watch close to see, like, she's kind of a dirty player too, man. Like, she's irritating. I can see why a lot of these players don't like her.
She's Larry Bird, bro. She be talking under her breath. She's throwing elbows at people, and then when they react, she's like, oh. But that's part of the game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
She's hustling fouls. You know what I mean? Because she's a little smaller than people, so she's got to like get in their ear and talk trash. I mean, boy, and you can read her lips, boy. She be talking. So everybody's like, I can't believe she got such a hard foul. I'm like, did you see what she did before that? Like, no, some of these girls are not playing.
It really is a Bird Magic type thing, except Magic, like Angel Reese isn't Magic because Magic was this happy, he couldn't understand why Larry hated him and all this other stuff. But you need that. So, I mean, look, and to your point, and I saw somebody in the chat say that typically it's everywhere with the WNBA. Don't get me wrong, when I see people, and I've talked about this in national radio before, where you'll get the person that says, this isn't fair, the WNBA players need to be paid more money, and look how much money they're making, and they have to go overseas and play. Well, you also have to realize it is a business, and if the WNBA is not making money, and the NBA has to subsidize the WNBA, guess what's going to happen? They're not going to make big money contracts. That's why they were flying commercially and they didn't have charter flights, because the teams are losing money. The league was making money. That's changing though. They're going to get new content contracts. They're going to get new TV contracts. That's going to make them more money. Why do you think Josh Harrison, the Sixers, won a WNBA team? Value's going up. Interest is going up. People need live sports to watch. And if you get players that are interesting, and Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are both interesting, but they need to keep getting players that have personalities that can drive storylines.
Yes.
And you have a big storyline right now. So I'm excited. Like you said, I got 3 girls, man. Lucy Olson, who is a neighbor of mine, she plays for the Washington franchise. She actually took over. She was at Villanova. She's one of the top scorers in the nation. When Caitlin Clark went pro, she transferred to Iowa and more or less took her spot at Iowa. And she got drafted by Washington this year. So she's a rookie in Washington. You know, like to me or to maybe a 13-year-old boy, they don't like, but you know, I got a 9-year-old daughter that looks at her and says, oh my God, she's a star.
Yeah.
So like you said, keep your niece or your daughter or your neighbor's kids or keep them in mind before you go tear the WNBA down.
And we can let Dawn Staley go coach the Knicks, because in 5 years they'll be done with her not winning a championship, and she can come coach the Phillies team. Like, I saw that floating around. Everyone's like, oh no, Dawn Staley's gonna have to wait. She can't interview with the Knicks. She's got to coach. She can still coach it. That's 5 years from now.
Well, she wants to own the team. She doesn't want to coach the team in Philly. That's what she said. But to your point, and I actually had it written down for yesterday, and I still have it on my sheet for today. If Dawn Staley becomes the head coach in the Knicks, I'm going to officially give up my 76er fandom, and I'm going to become an official Knicks fan. I love Dawn Staley. I want Dawn Staley to be the coach here.
I love Dawn Staley too. I can't go that far, but I love Dawn Staley.
For all the Becky Hammon stuff, and I would have loved to see Becky Hammon be an NBA head coach, I want Dawn Staley to do it. Yeah. I think there's one job she leaves South Carolina for, and it's a head coaching job in the NBA. Why the hell not? You're telling me some of these losers that they hire to be NBA coaches, Dawn Staley couldn't do the same job that some of these other coaches that get hired do? Like, come on, give me a break. Of course she could.
100%.
She may be able to motivate the players more by getting on them.
I believe she's just one of those people that's just a great coach. Man. And that's another thing, steps in the right direction. Not all men are men coaching women coaching men. I think Pop's the only one that's had a female, like he gave her an interim coaching job. She was a head coach when he was like sick or something. But Dawn Staley should be a head coach anywhere she wants to be. She's a great motivator. She knows the game.
She sure does.
If you become a Knicks fan, I got to beat you up like with Tyler. You and Tyler both going to have kneecaps busted.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but I hope it does. I just hope she gets I would love to see her get a job in the NBA.
I would love to see it too. I would love to experience it. I would, it would be great for the sport. Like, talk about basketball is down and interest and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what they're going to do when LeBron's gone. You need something. Dawn Staley can move storylines by herself.
Right. Well, and think about it. In Wildcats, Goldie Hawn was able to be a good coach of that high school team, so why couldn't Dawn Staley do the same thing?
You're absolutely right.
NBA.
You're absolutely right.
And she was able to wrangle in Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson for crying out loud. What a great movie. Your mama says it. When my daughter started doing cheerleading, I taught her I don't know how many people are familiar with the Wildcats, but the cheerleaders for the Wildcats, and this was an early 80s movie. Your mama says you're ugly. Hey, you're ugly. You're ugly. UGLY. What is it after that? Your mama, you're ugly. You're ugly. So my kids were doing that cheer, which wasn't appreciated by some adults.
Oh, well.
But it was all in good fun.
Yeah,
all in good fun.
Great fun.
Coming up, we have to do the BetParx Parlay of the day today. I love the Phils last night, so we should have done it yesterday. That's coming up. What else? So a lot more to come with Black Gritty, Tyler Zulli, and more. Philly with John Marks, PHLY. Why? Rothman Orthopedic. If you're a weekend warrior, a golfer, a runner. I saw Andrew Frazier, the producer of Anthony's show. He got on it, and he had spinal surgery a couple 2 months ago. And he biked 36 miles or something like that. I'm like, you're crazy biking 36 miles. But if you like biking and you're active and things like that, and you're not doing it as much, or you're not doing it at all because you're in pain. Maybe it's a nagging injury. Maybe it's, man, I can't do that anymore. Rothman Orthopedics. We've all been there, and you try to power through it. Right? And then it's like, man, it really hurts today. I'm going to have to take a week off. You're living on ibuprofen. You don't have to live like that. If pain is slowing you down this season, take the first step. Go to rothmanortho.com/PHLY and schedule your appointment today. And we're talking about Rothman, right? Dozens of communities across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Florida, 30-plus convenient offices, urgent cares, and walk-in centers. And I went to the one in Limerick. I made an appointment, had a frozen shoulder, bang. They took care of it. I've been great ever since. I've also been to their urgent care with my wife, who injured her knee, with my mom, who had a problem with her wrist, right? So you don't have to go to the regular urgent care. How about a Rothman urgent care? So convenient, physical therapy, all the things that they offer is amazing. Again, rothmanortho.com/PHLY, rothmanortho.com/PHLY. All right, so let's check it out. Empire Today, flooring in your home. Get it done in your investment property. It changes the room. It changes your home. So if you know you need new flooring, I can't recommend Empire Today more than I can. It makes sense. It's smart. Why go to a showroom when they can bring the showroom to your room, to your home? A free in-home consultation. They bring it to you. Now you know what it looks like in your space. Now you know what it looks like with your furniture, with your lighting, with the color of your walls, with the natural light in your room. Think about it. You're not going to see that in the showroom. They come to your showroom for a free in-home consultation, and then you're getting precise measurements taken on the spot. Every question is asked and answered, and you're getting clear, upfront, and all-inclusive pricing. You're not going to get a better price. And right now, if you're a PHLY listener viewer, just go to empiretoday.com/PHLY, $350 discount. That's right. Use the code PHLY. Restrictions do apply. But again, that's why you go to Empire Today. Great discount, and you're dealing with somebody, all they do is flooring. They're experts. They've been through this. They're with you from the first contact through your installation. All your questions are answered. They walk you through the process. They're there for you. All right? EmpireToday.com/PHLY. Hoo-ah. We're back. Philly with John Marks. Black Gritty is in the house today. What do you do for July 4th, Black Gritty? Anything good?
So you'll realize this. One day your kids will get old and then they won't care about you, and then you don't care about certain holidays anymore. This year I'm probably going to go to a barbecue and just hang out, live the dream. I used to do fun things in my youth. I'll tell you about my best 4th of July. I was in California. I was in Malibu, and my friends were like, oh, let's go down to Malibu. I was like, I don't want to go out here and watch fireworks on the beach. And they're like, watch this. We went down there, and you got Santa Monica, LA, Malibu. There are barges out in the water shooting off the fireworks. So you see them way off in the distance. Then there's a barge at each major city, and the firework line keeps coming, getting closer and closer and closer. And Malibu's the finale, and it's right above your head. And I'm like, man, I might fly out to LA next year and go watch that firework, because it was amazing. You sit out there on the beach, and I was like, all right, you got me one of these cornball things to do. And it was pretty dope, pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. I got engaged on the 4th of July in Vegas.
You did all the cliches. You just a holiday.
Well, we were out there for work. I was doing it was which fight was it? Anderson Silva and no, it was Chris Weidman. I think it was Anderson Silva. Weidman won. It was a huge upset, and I bet on Weidman, and then I lost the betting ticket, and it got cashed. But yeah, I got engaged. So that's the fireworks were going off, and I was like, well, how the hell am I going to do this? And anyway, so I got engaged out there. But I used to live at Parktown Place, which is on 22nd and the Parkway, looking at the art museum. And we had our balcony looked on the art museum. That's nice. Every year for the 4th of July, we had the best party of anybody ever. Because you had the 4th of July fireworks. We were in a high rise on the 10th floor looking at the fireworks, and we had an all-day party. And it was unbelievable. It was always the best time.
I'm going to Phillies game tonight, so I get to see the fireworks. Did you stay for the fireworks last night? Did they have fireworks last night?
I don't. They were supposed to, but the rain was also coming.
Oh, yeah.
So I think they tried to sneak. I think they tried to get it in. As I was driving home on 76th, it started pouring. So I don't know if they got it in, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did because I left. It was 4-0, and my San Diego guys were like, "Yo, we got to go." They have to do like live streams and stuff. So they had to go back to the hotel room to do a live stream before they were going out. I'm like, "Well, I'm driving home," so I left in the 8th inning. Yeah. So I actually don't know if they got the fireworks in. It's a good question. But the last time, and then we'll do the parlay of the day. So I went, and it was early on by dating my wife, and it's like, well, let's go see the fireworks at the art museum. So like we drove and parked, and never again, dude. Just with the common people like trying to walk through and watch the fireworks. Like we heard gunshots and stuff. People are like, no, man.
Bullets come back down, people. Like you shoot them in the air, they still come back down somewhere. So, matter of fact, man, I'm getting old now. I'm gonna stay in the house, Johnny. I watching fireworks on the television or something.
I gotta go to what you were saying with Southern California, man. That sounds awesome,
dude. It was. Like I said, there's a few little experiences. Like, I'm the type of person when I travel, I'm like, I don't want to go to the walk of, what's the walk, the Hollywood Walk or whatever. I call it shame. I can't remember. Fame. I call it shame. I knew that wasn't right. So I want to go to a hole in the wall. The coolest place I went to in LA, I went to a Korean jazz club. The ceiling was this, my head was touching it. Like if I hit my tippy toes, touching it. Full of smoke. You can't smoke in the city. And there were some Korean jazz band there, and these guys were rocking. People in there chain smoking. The drinks were flowing for like $4. It was like amazing. I'm like, this is what I love to do when I travel. I want the hole in the wall fun places, but that was something that's like, man, it's a really good show they put on.
I'm not going to be able to get it in time, but there's a picture of me with on the Walk of Fame, and I don't know why I'm posing with Eric Estrada, his star. Probably because it's Eric Estrada, but yeah. No, my brother-in-law for a long time lived in Hollywood, so he was right off of where that was. But wish because he's lived in Vegas now for the last. Actually, he was living in Vegas when we got. Or was he? No, he wasn't living in Vegas yet, but he's been living in Vegas for going on a decade.
Oh,
so I wish he would move back to California because I like California better than Vegas. Yeah. All right, let's do our BetParx Parlay of the day. All right, Tyler, we didn't do it yesterday. You probably had a winner.
I mean, I had one picked out if it counts for anything. Yeah, yesterday I would have taken Garrett Crochet over 6.5 strikeouts. He didn't pitch particularly well, but he ended up with 9, so we'll take it.
That's a win.
Today I am going to go to the Marlins and the Twins game. Did you guys know that over the last 9 games, no team has more wins in baseball than the Miami Marlins? 8.
Oh, wow.
BG and I were just talking about that last night.
Apparently they're decided they're going to play some good baseball. I think that stops today. I am a huge Joe Ryan fan. I think that he has kind of low-key been really, really good this year, and I think it's just a product of the fact that the Twins aren't playing very good. But I'm going to take Joe Ryan over 17.5 outs today at -180. He's only done it in 2 of his last 4 starts, but he's done it in 7 of his last 11, dating back to the end of April. If he can limit the walks, I think he goes 6 today against a pretty free-swinging Marlins team. I am going to take Joe Ryan over 17.5 outs at -180.
What you got, BG? Anything good?
I just want a Schwarber today. That's all I need in my life. I'm going to the game. I don't expect much out of Bryce yet. I just want to see another Schwarber live, and my life will be set and golden.
Yeah, I like the Phillies tonight. It's the Nick Pivetta revenge game. Nick Pivetta comes back in the town. He's been good for the Padres this year. He was better earlier. He's come back down to earth a little bit, but still, the problem with Pivetta was always his mental stuff, right? Like $1 million arm, 10-cent head. I think he comes into town tonight and he gives it up. So I was hoping for a Bryce Harper home run last night. I like Bryce going deep tonight in this game. And I like the Schwarber, even though Pivetta's a right-hander and he's got reverse splits. The problem with the knuckleballer last night was like that doesn't play into what Kyle Schwarber wants to do. Kyle Schwarber wants to work the count and get a fastball, a meatball fastball. He may get one of them from Nick Pivetta tonight. So I like the Phillies on the money line. They're pretty good favorites considering the Padres. Just from my guys, the Padres are like they're kind of coming in here low confidence. If you hear what my friends were saying, so I like the Phillies to win tonight. So I'll take them on the money line. There you go.
And we got their number too. We just make them feel inadequate about life whenever we play them.
And you know what? You play him again soon. So it's one of these things where you may own them this series, and then as we've seen, the pendulum swings, and then you know what happens, and the Phillies are limping out of California after that. So we'll see.
Well, I think like BG said, there is merit after a while to one team just being a dominant force over another team over a 20 game sample size or something like that. Like to swing it in the opposite direction. Like it is fair to say prior to the last series they played the Mets have owned the Phillies over the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Certain teams just play well against certain other teams. And it may not necessarily reflect good versus bad or good versus good. Like in the Phillies-Mets instance, it's two teams that have been pretty good. Same thing with the Padres, but the Phillies have pretty much owned the Padres over the last 5 years or so.
Yep. Yeah, they're confident against them.
It's the conversation I hear every time somebody's like, well, the Rams are a dangerous team. I'm like, we own the Rams. We own the Rams home and abroad, bro. Like, what are you talking about? I know Stafford and whatever, and then Snow, they almost won if it wasn't for Carter, but you still lost. And that's what we do. We beat the Rams. So I never worry about the Rams. Like, I don't care how hot they are. They're not hot when they play us. I think Carson Wentz broke their soul. Like, I don't know what happened, but I mean, like, man, back in the day, we was going out there, more Eagles fans in the stadium than Rams fans. We own the Rams. So it feels like that with San Diego.
2 more against the Padres, 3 at home against the Reds. So that takes you over the 4th and the weekend. And then they go to I don't remember them going out west right before an All-Star break, but they have 3 in San Francisco and then 3 in San Diego. Would have been actually a good week, a good trip to take out to San Diego if you were looking to plan out a Phillies trip. So you got 11 games now before the All-Star break. Oh, let's go. Reds are pretty good this year. Let's go.
Ella De La Cruz. I love him so much.
Yeah, 7-4 over the last 11. You signing up for that?
If you go 7-4, especially with 6 of them being on the West Coast, that is a absolute win in my opinion.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
All right, let's do it.
Let's get it.
We'll sign up for it right now.
Well, I think you win this series this week. You take one of the next 2. San Diego leaves here taking only 1. You've got the Reds who are playing better baseball as of late. Their pitching staff's been really good over the last and I don't know if it lines up that they're going to see Chase Burns or not. Chase Burns might.
He got lit up last night. Yeah, he only went a third of an inning, but it's supposed to be Wheeler and Chase Burns on Sunday.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah. If you don't know Chase Burns, he is a really, really highly touted pitching prospect that has unbelievable stuff.
I watched his highlight reel. I was like, man. So again, I'm sitting over here. I can't get any creator doing nothing. I got to watch this kid, this new golden boy, this new golden pony.
The NL Central is in really good hands with young pitching. Paul Skeens arrived in here, that dude. Jacob Mizorowski's been unbelievable. Chase Burns, great stuff. Like the NL Central, for as much as I give it crap, it's in pretty good hands with some young starting pitching.
Shut up, Tyler. Nobody wants to hear that.
Well, don't worry. Andrew Painter is shut down through the All-Star break, Black Gritty.
I know.
And he's not pitching. He's not pitching in the majors this year.
I don't think he is. So another year of again, blue balling me, get me all primed up for something I can't have. Dude, I hate it here.
Well, I mean, listen, they have great pitching depth. Next year, when Ranger Suarez walks via free agency, then they'll have a spot for him. All right?
Can't we Bobby Bonilla Nola and just keep Ranger? I don't care at this point.
Can we pay Ranger $1 million a year for the next 100 years? Would that help?
That would help. I would be happy with that. Sign it. What did he say? Crazy money, ridiculous money, spend it. I shut up, Johnny Marks. You are a Debbie Downer. You can't come to my party, bro. Everybody's having a good time. Tequila's flowing. And Johnny Marks is like, well, you got to drive home. You're going to have a hangover tomorrow. You ever get food poisoning from alcohol? Shut up, Johnny Marks. Just ruined.
If you're watching on TV, slide on over to allphly.com because we're in overtime.
OT.
Yeah, I'm going to be, I promise I will be really annoying with the Aaron Nolas. And I didn't say Aaron Nola, when Ranger Suarez leaves. Because now what you're seeing from everybody, well, you can't let him leave. Okay, you can't. So now we got 7 starters. Okay, you're gonna have to trade somebody. You can't just the payroll's already gonna be taxed. Are you bringing back Real Muto? Are you bringing back Kyle Schwarber? You just remember in the offseason, people were like, Phillies aren't interested in winning. They didn't sign Juan Soto. You idiots took the bait from every content creator out there that wanted you to believe that the Phillies were in on Juan Soto. They were never in on Juan Soto because Juan Soto was never coming here.
And Juan Soto showed up this press conference looking like he had a BG gut. Like, come on, bro. And he's been out here playing like he looks like me.
Man.
By the way, he's not worth $700 million. He ain't Shohei Ohtani money, but he getting it. He's an embarrassment. This is what baseball needs to reel this in. Like, I'm a player guy. Like, I hate the NFL screws guys out of their money and all the fugazi contracts, but baseball is out of control. You are not Cindy Crawford, bro. You're not. You think you're the hottest supermodel on the planet. You're not. You're an Instagram model. You're hot to look at, but I'm not going out with you. I'm not bringing you home to my mom. Like,
no.
The baseball needs to reel it in.
So should they not accept the money that gets offered on the should Juan Soto go to the negotiating table? But that's a little bit too much.
How about I counter you with $500 million?
Money. They're extortionists. They have ski masks on and they're demanding the contract because of boards. What are you talking about? They shouldn't offer the money. Nobody offered that doofus $700 million. He went in there with a bank robber and a guy with a shotgun and said, give me the money. And then somebody's like, well, I guess I'll give him the money. Anybody offer him those Tyler Zulli.
It doesn't work if I go into PHLY and ask for $1 million. I ain't worth $1 million. But if somebody says in an open market in Major League Baseball where there's no salary cap, hey, give me $700 million or I'm not signing here, you either say okay or you say no. And the Mets said okay.
And that's my point. They need to start having. They need.
That's called collusion. But Black Grady's calling for collusion in Major League Baseball as if they've never done that before.
Between who?
No, don't sign the beer belly guy to $700 million for him not to hit a ball for the first 3 months of his contract. And well, Bryce, thank you for choosing me, but no, you're not getting an extension, you doofus. You're going backwards and you're injured. God, don't make me talk about my guy, Tyler. Oh, Tyler Zulli, you got a family, bro. You better start thinking about your family. Well, you see how Johnny Marks knows. He got 3 kids. You got to live for these kids, Tyler. You got to focus up. You drive me crazy.
Well, anyway, it's going to be tough to bring Ranger Suarez back unless you're really, really moving guys around and making trades. And it's hard to watch because Ranger Suarez is so much fun when he's out there. He's such a way about him.
Trade Andrew Painter and get me a World Series this year.
Well, so real fast, and I know we're out of time. We'll throw. So I'm talking last night to actually a Phillies fan in front of me, and I'm like, all right, like, is Andrew like you have like every baseball fan overvalues their prospect, right? I do it all the time. I never want to trade away my prospects. You love your prospects, but they're called prospects for a reason. And Andrew Painter has unbelievable potential. But there's a lot of players out there, a lot of pitchers, a lot of hitters that have unbelievable potential. In particular with pitchers, they lose a couple of miles per hour off of their fastball. They get another injury or you're injury prone. I mean, the guy's already had Tommy John, right? Like, at what point do you start saying, all right, is this really a guy you can't trade? Because like Dominic Brown was the one guy they hung on to. They traded everybody else and none of those guys really developed. Dominic Brown was the one guy they hung on to. Look him. He flamed out like boom. He had the All-Star appearance and then he was done. So I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, all right, well, like, what are we doing with this kid? Is he really going to come up and he's going to be in the starting rotation and he's going to be great? Because like right now you are in such a win now mode and they have real holes that they need to fill on this team. And I'm not talking about getting the next Austin Hayes up in the trade deadline. All I'm saying is that, like, I'm at a point where I need to see Andrew Painter in the majors. I'm tired of this crap. All right, next season, he better be here to stay. Otherwise, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
RC. RC Tyler Shirley.
WNBA Phillies. Yeah. Sounds like a great name.
What Tyler, what do you got coming up on your Phillies PHLY?
Yeah, I think probably take a look at Zack Wheeler. Just the absurdity that was his month. Like a .580 ERA over the month of June is just ridiculous. He's been so good. I think we'll probably take a little bit of a deeper dive into him today.
All right.
Nice.
Who's in? Because I didn't even know this yet. Anthony's in Italy for this week and next week. Is Jamie Lynch in today for Ant? Is that confirmed or what are they doing?
I believe Jamie's in today. I think Bill Matz is going to be in a couple days. I think that VG and Andrew are doing Thursday before the holiday.
Nice.
Just a couple of different people filling in. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, slide on over to those guys. BG, have a good 4th of July, man.
You guys too.
All right. We'll talk to you. And appreciate you. Subscribe, like, comment. If you listen to the audio version of the show or you want to. If you missed the show, you can listen. Just when you get in your car, like, I want something to listen to. Philly with John Marks on PHLY. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search it. 5-star review. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow live at 8 a.m. See ya.
We all silly like the mayor.